I'm ChosenArchitect, and this is All The Mons. A shiny Poliwag has appeared. Look at this, right here, and I put him in a boat. Even though Poliwag doesn't really look too much different in its shiny form, you can definitely hear the sounds. And this one, I finally got. Look at that. We should easily be able to catch this, by the way. Also, if you put it in a boat, you can catch it from a boat. And if you fail to catch, well, it does go right back in the boat, which is kind of funny. We got our first shiny. Now back over to the PC, I actually want to make box 40 the shiny box for now, and we can also expand backwards. We click the little button in the bottom right, and we can change the look of this. And so we can set a very specific color to this if we want to make this shiny. For example, I'm going to make my shiny box the orange box for right now. And what I can do is go in here, find our shiny, and we will swap this. Actually, I don't think we have to move Mons around. We can just pick them up, click on the tabs, and there we go. This is our shiny box for right now, but I do want to take a look at my new Poliwag shiny that's level 5. Very low level, but when you throw it out, oh, it's so adorable. I love that it makes like a little shiny sound, like the sound effect when it's out. I mean, that was pretty cool to be able to catch a shiny right off the bat. But today I have some pretty large plans, and the plans are going to be building. Well, or at least planning the building and getting started with the build, as this is going to be a build that is going to continue through episode after episode. And what exactly are we building? Well, as I've hinted, we are going to be taking on and building the Rocket Labs. And the Rocket Labs is going to go right inside of this, and then it's going to have a beautiful fascia on the outside that is going to look very industrial. I tell you though, modded Minecraft fits so well into the Pokemon universe. Like, look at all the tech that you see throughout the Pokemon era and all of the cool future tech that they show. This is going to fit right in. And so because we are going to be diving heavily into mods throughout this playthrough, having a lab is going to be one of the best builds, I think. Now, I want this to be a grand build, and I also have an idea of utilizing the Team Rocket lab or headquarters that they used in the Ruby and Sapphire version. Well, the version of the anime, that is. So we are going to have this very industrial fascia that's going to go in here, and I want to show off my first building tool of the day, and that is this one right here, the measuring tape. And you can see we have 47 tall. I stepped back and I took a look and I was like, yeah, 47 seems to be right about here. Sort of mathed it out. And at 45, that is nice and divisible by 3. So I made sure that the interior space, which if we were to measure from here, subtracting 2 off of this, well, is perfectly divisible by 3. Potentially giving us some really nice layers. Now, the width of this is going to be give or take about 35 in size, leaving us with like a 33 interior. And that is just going to be what I'm going to call the main hall, because I'm already visualizing this in my head. And so I'm going to need to carve into this mountain. And well, there's a lot of tools that we could use to make this job easier. So back to our little Poke house, and inside we are going to get started on all of the tools that we can use to be able to build more effectively. One of the first things we should probably make is a Flux controller. We've already dabbled into Flux networks, so getting ourselves a Flux controller like totally makes sense. And the Flux controller is going to give us access to wireless player charging. So if we click on our main network that we created, we can go into the wireless charging section now, toggle it on, and we can select certain slots, everything except for our main inventory, and then hit apply. Once we've done this, we now have wireless charging in our inventory, and we can even set transfer limits and stuff if we really want to. As of right now, I'm not super worried about it, but now we can get into tools that require power. This is going to lead me into making all of the building gadget tools. And I recommend making like the building gadget, the exchanging gadget. You can see they are all getting now charged up, which is very nice. The copy paste gadget, and even the destruction gadget. And also another nice one is the cut gadget. Honestly, the cut paste gadget is probably one of the most powerful of all of them, in which we'll learn the secrets of this thing a little later on. Now back down into the cave, I've extended a little bit. So we have this little room off to the side, and this is mainly to house some automatic resource generators, because I'm really going to need a lot of building materials if I plan on building the thing that I want to build. And so what I plan on using are these right here, these Cobblegen Galore cobble generators, which can actually generate more than just cobblestone and stone, believe it or not. Because we can just set the block underneath that we want it to generate, and it will generate them. For example, if I want to generate stone, you just put stone underneath and give it the water and lava on the side. It does say source block is consumed, but there are ways that we can prevent that source block, for example, from being consumed. What's amazing though is we can generate all of the base create materials, which are fantastic for not only generating resources, but also utilizing them for building. To make this work, I am going to need a little bit, at least one of some of these base create materials, which we can find in caves. After collecting all of those resources, we should now be able to place all of our generators directly on top of every single one of these blocks. The iron one, for example, right here, though, is just cobblestone, because anything that just generates passively doesn't actually require a block underneath. But I did have to go out and get some very special ice for some of these. For example, the cobble deep slate, well, that one's going to require packed ice, and to be able to make basalt, well, we need blue ice. And most of this just requires lava being directly behind on just about everything. And for the rest, well, water needs to be in the front. And the one that basically says, like, for example, the stone, that it consumes the water, yeah, it can consume flowing water. Now the only thing left to do is just put the storages here, and thankfully these automatically send, which I think is awesome. After throwing in some very basic upgrade, we take this, by the way, from 2K all the way up to 16,000 items with just a single copper upgrade in here. Having these particular blocks are going to be really helpful for building. So with all of that done, all of those resources generated incredibly fast, mind you, by the way, honestly, insanely fast, it is time to start clearing out an area so we can start prepping for how we're going to build out this Team Rocket facility. Something that's really powerful in that is actually using another RF Tools builder, but not just any builder, a builder with a shape card void. This being void is very, very powerful in what it can actually do. So if we leave this default solid 5x5, we place it inside, we show the bounding box here, what we want to do is move this. And so we can start adjusting these different values to figure out exactly where it's positioned in the world. So we notice just like that moves it to the right and left. So this should move it from the forward, and this should move it forward and backwards. So if we set this one to 16, for example, and we see that that is here, then we now know that this value in positive is going to be what voids this. But what makes the void card really powerful is its ability to work without power. So if I turn this on, it literally voided all of that, did not cost power, there's no power in this, and also doesn't require a storage. It just works. Oh, and also works at full speed, by the way. What I will say is be very careful with this, as you can, yes, void your entire base with it on accident. Now, I want this to be a very specific dimension. So on the actual vertical, we want this to be 47 because that's what I want to clear out to. And then on the sides, we gotta kind of figure out how wide we want this. And because we know that this offset right here moves it forward and backwards, I also know that this is going to be how long this hallway or corridor is going to end up being. And so this should equal the width here. And so 33 is what I want this width to be. If I go ahead and set this to some weird number like 16 for right now, for this, we should be able to see how wide this structure is when we display it. So that right there is going to be a pretty good indication of how that's going to look. And now I know how tall I need to make this. So let's just say, since this is centered here, let's bring this up at about half value of this. So 23, give or take, is roughly going to be that value to put it right here for the clearing. That actually is perfect. Right on. Dead on, actually. Before we actually start clearing this out, though, we've got to make a mega torch. This is going to prevent hostile mobs from spawning. Otherwise, we are going to have an absolute mess on our hands. By placing this in the world, we should get a pretty decent range. I think it's like 20 blocks in this direction and 20 blocks around in a massive radius. That should prevent mobs from spawning in dark areas. You know what? Actually, I think 27 looks much nicer and is going to be a little bit shallower, since this is going to be like the grand entrance. So I've got this lined up, and then I have this going 33 blocks deep. And I think to kind of figure this out and to make sure that we are sending this deep enough is to technically look back here. And we can see, I mean, we've gone quite far back here, but it could possibly go further. You know what? I think I might have it right here. We'll see, because we can always adjust this as needed. What's a little bit harder is refilling it back in if we make a mistake. So what I've done here is I now have 47 in the length. We also have 47 in the height, and then we have 27 in the width. And this is sort of the shape that I'm going with at the moment. These offsets, by the way, are all dependent on the position of your builder. So these values in mind, I guess, might as well go ahead and flip the lever. As soon as we flip this lever, the process is going to begin, and it is going to start clearing the entire thing out. And it's going to do it very quickly, mind you. It does it chunk by chunk, but I mean, I think, yeah, it's going very fast. This is about as fast as the builder goes. I don't even think upgrading it and fusing it makes it go any faster, because this one does not require power. But yeah, I mean, this is going to give us a ton of space in the back. Quite a lot, actually. So now we have a rather large hole that needs filled, by the way. And to be able to fill it, we can, instead of using a void card, use a regular shape card. But this does require a ton of blocks. And actually, the block I want to use for the main frame and structure of the building is not actually a block that we're farming with our earlier method. And this means we're going to have to go farming. Now, something that we can do is make a feeding upgrade. I should have done this a long time ago, but this is going to allow us to auto eat whenever we are hungry. And I will make an advanced version. It's a lot better than the regular one. And we can put this in here and specify specifically what we want to eat. For example, bread. And since we have so much bread, that's definitely what I want to throw in my backpack to eat. The block that I do want to use for most of the building, as it's really fitting, it looks very similar to the ones you would see in the anime, is the cyan terracotta. And so vein mining all of this up from a temperate highlands is a great option here. And for collection, I'm going to be using a backpack, and we can set this to allow mode, set this to the terracotta, and now anytime we vein mine this and we pick it up, it goes straight into the backpack. That was a lot of collecting, but I think I have plenty as of right now. I'm unsure exactly how many, 22,000 I collected by hand. It's a lot. But what I can do now is place the backpack on top, and we can take this shape card and take our settings, like for example, that we have all here, 47, 47, 27, and we can put that in here. And we can set this, instead of solid, we can set this to hollow. Beautiful. After placing it in, I can see and make sure that this is the exact size. And what I want to do now is give it some power, because I believe this does require power. So we'll make sure sending some power into this. Beautiful. And then we just have to flip the lever to turn it on, and it should automatically pull the blocks directly out of the backpack in order to fill this whole thing in, just like this. Oh, that is so nice. I know as of right now, I just have a really big box, but I do want to add to this box, and a lot of this is going to be done by hand. There's actually a couple of other tools that we can use, because what I want to do is on the outside, I want to build up these sort of, I don't even know what you call them, extrusions to the outer wall that are going to come out a little bit, probably like 5 or 6 blocks in the front, expand out, and then they're going to have lights on the front. And the tool that I want to use is going to be construction sticks. So I can make a diamond construction stick here, and then we can upgrade this a little bit. We can make this where it uses power instead of actually using durability. I'm just going to need a potato for this. To make this happen, we will take our stick, our template, and a block of copper inside of the smithing table. And now this is going to store power, and it's basically infinite now. Something I recommend is setting a keybind to be able to access your construction sticks. For me, I like to use like the asterisk on my numpad to be able to open it up. And that way you can configure some things like setting randomness, whether it's going to match specific blocks whenever you place them. And this is going to allow us to place blocks that are all connected. And so to really get to show this off, if we have, for example, the items in our inventory, we can just use this now to expand up. And over here, I have gone out about 11 blocks, going out so it's 7 blocks wide with a 5 block center, and then we're just going to line it up against this wall. Now to put this in perspective, we can use the tape measure here to take you all the way up to the point at which I am going to be branching up. So this is about 28 blocks. And then right here, this is 11 blocks away from the wall. And now I'm going up 3, placing on the back, going up 3, and I'm going to continue this on both sides. Now with this set in place, what we can do now is we can set our front position using the copy paste gadget by right clicking here. And then we can go into the back, kind of find up the line point, which is right about here. And then we can go all the way up to the top and shift right click. This is going to set a bound for our copy paste tool, which will allow us to take this section and literally paste it over here. So once we have that selected, we can just go all the way over here, and then we can set an anchor point to make sure this is exactly where we want it, kind of check and make sure this is about 2 blocks. So this needs to go down. So we can take this and confirm it goes down 1. That's 2 blocks. That looks like it is in the exact position that it's supposed to be in. And then we just right click, and it is going to fill all of this in for us. And if we need more blocks to put in our inventory, well, because we anchored it, we don't have to worry about anything. We can just fill our inventory back up and put the blocks in, right click, and it's going to continue to keep pulling and filling up. And so we can see it kind of working here. And beautiful. Now we have the exact same thing printed on the other side. Now I can just come back in and start laying out all of the blocks to fill it back in. Now on the Team Rocket Lab building, there were like slices for windows, which I kind of want to put in, much like this. And they also need to run along the actual side buildings too. After doing that, the build would not be complete without having a massive R on the front in red for Team Rocket. And I'm taking advantage of utilizing all of these framed blocks, which is another nice building tool. Now, outside around this whole thing, I want to add some edge lighting that is going to go like this. And I want to extrude in between all of the windows these sections like this. And so we are going to have some that are going to be on top and bottom. We can use this Simply Lights edge lighting to really make this pop. So I've played around with a few more lights after getting all of that set up. And oh boy, this is really coming together. I still have to build a satellite dish out on the top because that is another defining feature of the building. But outside of that, it's just us simply figuring out how we're going to manage the interior space. And there's a lot of space in here. And I kind of want this to have a centerpiece that goes through the middle. And then I want access to other areas. And this is going to be, like I said, a lab. So that means potentially we're going to be diving into Auratech soon. Now, speaking of said satellite, we can actually make a satellite quite easily by using the RF Tools Builder again. So what we could do is we can create a sphere and we can make sure that it is solid. I'm going to make it a 9x9x9, make it about 15 blocks from here, and make sure that the center of our platform that we're going to build it to has a connector point. So what I might do is just simply put this at 1 to push this back 1 block. And so now this gives us exactly a connection point right here to the back. Now, this is a solid sphere. So whatever block we put on top, whenever we power this, is going to be the thing that this gets generated out of, which I might actually do andesite. What's really going to be neat is the fact that we can cut into this. Now, there's also another feature. You can create random distributions by placing in the amounts and quantities that you want of certain blocks, and the builder will randomize those blocks. So by placing these in, we go ahead and close this out, and we start building it. You notice that it is going to, for somewhat, randomize the blocks that are inside. Where things get kind of powerful, where you can start manipulating shapes, is by doing something like this. We can start playing around with a void card. So I took the exact same settings that I was using, and in the void card, we just need to change the offsets a little bit. And by doing this, we can cut out a section of this, which I think would be kind of cool. So right here, if I was to clear this out, it would just leave a little bit of the outer ring. And so let's say I want this pointing here, but up a little bit. So let's also bring this to 16, and we have this a -1. So it's 2 blocks over, 1 block up. Whenever we render this, we can now see that this is going to rip out a very specific section of it. And so whenever we power this, it is going to void all of these blocks here and leave us with this sort of disc shape, which I think is perfect. And so all I have to do is go in here and just sort of outline and fill in these missing blocks, and I will give this a nice border on the outside. After all is said and done, I've added a couple of other decorations up to the top, and I think the satellite disc turned out rather nice, considering how easy it was for us to just simply cut shapes out of existence. I love the way that this works. After doing all of this, hear me out. The interior we're going to work on as we start to add more machines into our world and dive deeper into power, and also, of course, AE2 down the line, which we're going to have a nice storage if we plan on at least completing the All The Mons star or even the Pika star. I mean, how else are we going to extend our reach to the stars above? Now, I think the only thing missing from the build, well, is going to be an outfit change. That will have to wait until another time, because we have some poke battling to get done. Now, our next gym battle is going to be against Cedric, which we're apparently going to fight a couple of times, but this is going to raise our level cap to 36, which is kind of huge and allows for our main starter to typically evolve. And in our case, it definitely will evolve. And we'll finally get my hands on Sceptile, which I really want. One of my favorite Mons. Now, I have a couple of guesses as to what Cedric's Mons are going to be, considering it is going to be like a rival of sort to us. But also, its item is the Eviolite, which boosts special defense if the Mon is not fully evolved. So we might be facing off with some Mons that aren't technically evolved yet. But we've got some leveling to do, because actually my level cap is 31 at the moment, and I should get these guys leveled up to at least 31. It is now time. Let's craft our Eviolite, which is the item that is going to be required, which is going to require an Everstone. And then we can give this block the item and hopefully wait. Wait for our trainer to spawn. There we go. Okay, so hear me out. I am and have never have claimed to be the best Pokemon trainer ever. However, I am learning, and I will eventually be the best. And I really wish I could catch the other trainers' Mons. That would really go well with this arc. But now, without further ado, let's battle our Cedric trainer. Oh goodness, look at them. Look at the item. It's holding an item. Interesting. Can we see? We can't see what item is being held. Interesting. But all right. So I am slowly learning. You can see right here, it does say electric is pretty good against it. So we might as well take advantage of that. It is a flying type and annihilate it. I mean, we are level 31. All right. So now we've got fire type, water, and earth and rock, but we also have something else to worry about too, like resistances. But I think we should probably stay in and just continue to deal high damage potentially. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. That was not too bad. Wow. Okay. Toxtricity is still such a good player here. Okay. This one's going to be a little bit more challenging. Acid, possibly. I mean, even though Belch, if it is holding an item, which I don't see it physically holding an item, could be really good. I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with acid again. Maybe? No, wait, I can't use acid for some reason. Like it shows that if I click on the move, it's actually highlighted. That's interesting. Okay, so I only have 2 moves I can apparently use right now. I have no idea why. Unless it's related to the glasses. I didn't think about that. It could definitely be related to the glasses. We're just going to stick with Toxtricity. No reason to change if what we have is working, in my opinion. This is good. This feels good. I'm actually really loving Toxtricity. Wow. All right. Shockwave is going to completely finish this all off. That was fantastic. And now we have won. And look at that. Oh, man. And as per tradition, goodbye. Even though we'll see him again. Oh, back so soon, I see. Yeah, we'll see you back later. Oh, no. Man, I got to give our Toxtricity a high five because, my goodness, you're rocking it. Now, if we take a look at our trainer card, our level cap is 36, which is so nice. And so, Grovyle, it's time. It's time to level up. Here we go again. All the way until we hit level 36. There's level 35. Just a little bit further and level 36. And I believe now you should be able to evolve. So let's do that. And actually evolving into one of my favorite mons of all time. I don't know why. I think it's because it was my first starter. Oh, and you look so sick. I love it. Love it. I don't know why, but I know. It's not the best Pokemon in the world. It is a solid grass type, but I don't know. Just something about Sceptile I absolutely love. And I love the name. I don't even like to rename them. I mean, honestly, should be a dragon type. Like, also should have some dragon typing in them. That'd be really nice. Now, also, Wartortle can get leveled up too. So let's go ahead and spam these until it's reached level cap, and then it's now level 36, and we will have ourselves Blastoise, which in my opinion is a really nice water type mon. Okay, let's go ahead and evolve into Blastoise. Oh, this is such a cool animation. Every time I'm falling deeper and deeper in love with Cobblemon. Oh yeah, that is sick. And I think Blastoise is a rideable mon. Yeah, we can actually ride him. Oh, and he does like this spin move on the ground. This is so sick. Yeah, on land, he can spin and does this weird spin like thing whenever you, oh wow, he goes pretty quick too. When he gets going, if you hold down control or your sprint key. I mean, come on. That is pretty sick. And when you're underwater, you literally ride on him. Look at that. Speaking of another riding mon, Corvisquire will evolve soon, but not at level 36. Unfortunately, level 38. So we still have a little bit to go, but we're very close to having probably one of the best flying mons that you can get in early game, I would say. I mean, I know we're playing a mod pack that just gives you creative flight, but still, in normal Cobblemon, like, this would be one of the best. This one or Aerodactyl if you got really lucky and found that fossil. Man, oh man, what a day today has been. And not only did we build a giant Team Rocket lab, I mean, we ended up catching a shiny, our first shiny at the beginning of the episode. And not only that, we now made it to level 36 on our level cap. But man, we have a long ways to go, lots of mods to get through, and I hope you guys are excited to do that. And if so, be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and give this video, guys, a huge thumbs up. And with that, it's now time for me to thank the amazing supporter of today's episode. And that huge thanks is going to go out to Connor 1744. Thank you so much for your amazing support and choosing to support me over on the Discord by becoming a Discord premium member and just supporting my content in one of the best ways possible, absolutely going above and beyond. You absolute boss. And guys, with that, it's now time for me to say goodbye, and I'll see you in the next one. And as always, thanks for watching.